Good morning to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good second half of the week. All right. So your bell ringers on the board. Indicative conditional mood. Covered this yesterday. So go into your document. Look into your Thursday spot. Number it 1 to 5. And then just put whether you feel like it is indicative or if it's conditional mood, based on our conversation yesterday. Indicative or conditional? No, just that. Missing part there too. All right, once you're finished with the bell ringer, if you would close up your laptop. We won't need it again until perhaps a little bit towards the very end of class. That'll let me know that you're ready. And once you're done, you can start reading Civil War Journal. I'll talk to you about what we're going to do today and why. Just take a few more moments. Indicative, conditional verb moves. Oh, of course you will. So you close up your laptops, start reading this very short journal entry. All right, looks like a couple people still working. Holly, Josh, Heaven, Abigail. Okay. Wonderful.
I just put like I or C.
That's fine. Yep. You looking for your bell hanger? Go to the stream. Try it in your classroom. It should be near the top of the stream. You want to make a copy? Just do that. That's the easiest way. Then you won't have to worry. Yeah, there you go. Gosh. All right, so while Holly's finishing up, I think she's my only one. Today we're going to do two things. Both of them connected to this journal entry called Civil War Journal by Louisa May Alcott. We'll talk about who she is, her significance. Because it goes well beyond this journal that we're going to read. So yesterday and the day before, we spent talking about what? What was the story about that we read over the last 2 days? Anyone tell me about it? Sadie?
This beating vessel.
This beating vessel. And it was a young girl about your age doing what function? What was her job? And close up, please. All the way. A nurse. A nurse. Yeah, she was a nurse. And so today's story is also about a nurse. And we're going to talk about connotation, something we've talked about off and on throughout the school year. And we're going to do an activity based on the underlined words that are in the text that you're going to read. So then we're going to talk about research techniques, something we've been working on a lot this quarter. And I want to model for you or show you kind of how I approach researching an item and give you a couple tools to make your research a little more effective. I know there have been struggles with it. It's a difficult skill to learn. So I'm going to show you kind of how I approach researching a topic or an issue, and maybe you'll find that helpful, I think. Then we'll do a little activity based on that. So what I'd like you to do first is take about 7 or 8 minutes and read the text quietly to yourselves. It's very short. It should really take about less than 10 minutes total. If you are already finished, when you get done reading it, I'll have a sheet here that I'll pass out in a minute, and you can start working on that. So go ahead and take a few minutes and start reading. Make sure you include reading about the author and the background. And then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to do this activity. Sure to read the story first, and then we'll talk about the connotations of the words and do the worksheet. most of you should be pretty close. If not, that's okay. Let's pause for just a second. You can finish this in just a moment if you haven't finished yet. Let me talk about denotation and connotation. So, when we talk about the denotation of a word, we're talking about its what? Anyone remember the denotation of a word? Josh?
Like a second meaning.
So meaning, denotation. Anyone recall what the denotation of a word is, as opposed to the connotation of a word? Tristan, what's the denotation of a word? It's the definition of the word, the textbook definition, if you were to look the word up, right? So connotation is different from that, because connotation is the feelings the word gives beyond its textbook definition. And authors are really choosy about the words they pick, good authors especially. They have a whole choice of words they can use in places, but they pick words for the connotations they have. Maybe the connotation is a positive one, maybe it's a negative one. We'll see both of those in this text. So, Civil War Journal, written by Louisa May Alcott, most famous for a work you might have heard of called Little Women. Anybody heard of Little Women? Made a movie of it a few years ago. Very famous book about a group of sisters. And she also served as the author, for some time, as a Civil War nurse. And the journal that you read about or reading about is from her experiences as a nurse, both right before she became one, and then her experiences as she began nursing for the Civil War. So what I want you to do is, let's look at the sheet that I gave you, the front page only, and you'll see it says, beside each word, list words or phrases that note the connotation the underlined word has in the journal. Remember, we don't want to write the denotation, the definition, we want just the connotations. The first one we have there is the word family. Going back to the text, you're all far enough along where you've done this, read this passage on the front page here. It's underlined. I underlined all of them. It says, a busy time getting them ready, and a sad day seeing them off. For in a little town like this, we all seem like one family in times like this. What words might she have chosen instead of the word family? What are some words she could have used? People, love that. Group, sure. Two perfect answers. Peers, absolutely. Neighbors, friends, And family is a little different. She was very specific about the word family, because how is family, what connotations does the word family have that make it different from peers or group or people or neighbors? Yes?
That they're all closely related.
That they're all close in the way that a family is close, which is how? Reagan? How is a family different from just a group of people who know each other?
I don't know how to say it. They're closer because they know more about each other.
They know more about each other. They've been together a long time. What does family have that group people who know each other doesn't have? Yes?
I mean, like, they kind of like have like their own blood.
Their own blood, right? And so when she says we were all like one family, she doesn't mean that she's related to everybody in her town. That's the definition, denotation of family. She means they were family-like in their relationship with each other. So it has that togetherness, the loyalty, the warmth. All that comes through in the choice of a word like family. Yes?
You rewrite these
Yes, so at the top, where it says family, put some of the words that we've said, or your own words that you think mean that, to really show how family, that word, has layers of meaning that come out in the text that's different from another word she might have chosen, which might be more neutral. Might be true and capture the meaning, but it just doesn't have the connotation of the word family. Great examples. So looking down, let's jump to page 2 at the top. She says, September, October. This is under the section 1862. So we're moving in time, chronologically, just like we did with the other stories we've read. September, October, war news bad. Anxious faces, beating hearts, and busy minds. So she's used this phrase, beating hearts. What words might she have chosen for that? What was she trying to say in those lines? Anxious faces, beating hearts, busy minds. What do you think? Sadie?
People are nervous.
People are nervous. Oh, yes, they are.
Maybe they're like worried.
Worried, absolutely. Great.
Like scared.
Scared. I love all those. And they're all absolutely true. And if she'd used any of those words, it still would have been true. It still would have been accurate. It still would have captured her meaning, except that beating hearts has an extra little something that scared, and nervous, and worried don't quite have. And what is that? Why did she choose beating hearts? What do you think of when you think of the heart? Not just anxiety or worry or fear or panic, but what else? What other meaning does the word heart carry? Thoughts?
Passion.
Ooh, what did you say?
Passion.
Passion, yes. Love. Connectedness. So they're not just anxious, they care about these people. So it's not just worry, it's worry for people you care about. If I'm scared, say, my heart will beat fast and I might be panicking. But if something happens to you and I care about you, that's a different kind of worry than me worrying about myself. And a phrase like beating hearts gets to that feeling of like their worry isn't just their worry for themselves. It's not their own fear. They're not in danger. So but it's worry for someone else. What's going to happen to my son who went to war? What's going to happen to my husband who went to war? So it really captures that sense of passion, and I'll use that as a strong word, but really what Maureen I think is getting at is love, connectedness, ties back to that family image that we had in the first page. All right, I'm going to let you do this third one with me. Jump down to paragraph 7. She says, I was ready, and when my commander said march, I marched. All right, what do you think? You tell me. She picked the word marched. Thoughts? What could she have said? Corbin, what other words might she have used?
No way. I can't talk.
That's it.
Maybe
Walked. Absolutely. Abigail?
Listen.
What's that?
Listen. Like I listen.
I listened. Oh, obeyed. Ooh, I like that. I think that's true. Tristan? Prepared. All those things. McCoy, what do you think? What's something else she could have said? When my commander said march, I was ready, my commander said march, I marched. She could have said what? I went, maybe? But march has a little something else. Tell me, you tell me. What does march have, Sadie?
It's a bit more serious.
Serious. What do we think about when we think of marching? Seriousness, what else?
like confidence.
Confidence, I love that. What else?
To go without stopping.
To go without stopping, determination or persistence, or maybe that I'm trying to land right on the image you're talking about. Absolutely. What else? Did you think she literally marched? When her name said march? I don't think she really marched like a soldier. But she marched in the way that she was serious and persistent, and what else?
Maybe she was supportive.
Supportive. You think of of marching as obedient, following orders, doing as you're told, being determined, having determination, right? Marching has a different connotation. Great job, guys. All right, so I'm gonna let you spend a few minutes, finish your reading if you haven't read, but really my main point is for you to look at the other underlined words, starting with Spartan. The definition of Spartan is at the bottom. If you have any question about that word, it's kind of a word you don't see very often. Defined at the bottom. Take the time to go through ones 14 through 13 and put your thoughts about the connotations of that word, the feelings it evokes, the feelings it gives you that are different from just a very neutral word that Louisa might have otherwise used in this text. She was very purposeful about the words she picked because she wanted them to give you, the reader, a certain feeling that's stronger than just the word group or peers or the word went or walked, right? Or anxiety and nervousness. All right, take a few minutes to do that. If you would, please. We'll talk about those. Question for me, Miss Van. Oh, to Chromebook? Let me call down to make sure that they. Hey, it's Mr. Eubanks. I have a student who's had a little bit of a Chromebook issue. May I send her? Everything, you're good to go. All right, how we doing? How's everybody getting through on these? Corey, what do you think? Smart. So she says, I'm going to this problem top of her mom, window down here, strong and self-disciplined. And she might have said strong and self-disciplined. Why do you think she chose that word? Connotations does that word have that's different from just saying strong and self-disciplined? Do you know anything about Spartans? Or history maybe? They were very militant soldiers who never back down, never retreated, even would fight to the last man if they were outnumbered. Have a reputation for being warlike and aggressive and tough. How's that different? Why did she say that about her mom? Why did she pick that word, do you think? Any thoughts? She could have just said tough. What connotation is just about there? Just based on what we said, what you know. Fierce, tough, right? What do you think? Okay, well, let's put that there. That's right there. Yeah. Okay. Send no prayers as a person in the country. Why Think about that. Come back. Come on, what is that? Yeah, how we doing? Okay. Yes, that's right. All right, how are we making out? Miranda, you with us? What did some of you put for alive with patriotism? Yes, sir.
Like a feeling?
Hmm?
Like a feeling?
A feeling. Ooh, okay. What might Alcott have said instead of alive? Alive with patriotism, yes.
I said a whooping, but I don't know if that's right.
Okay, a wave. I like that. I like that because aliveness has kind of a different connotation or feeling. Yes, Polly?
I'm also not sure about this one, but I said ongoing.
Ongoing. Something that's alive is it's vital. It keeps you. It's your thing that keeps you going. Keeps you getting up every day. So it's not just that they're filled with patriotism, although they certainly are, but they're alive with patriotism. That's different. If I said you're filled with school spirit, that's different from saying you're alive with school spirit. Where like that you eat, drink, sleep, think about school spirit. Like it's the thing that keeps you going. And that is a different feeling, doesn't it? It's not that filled with or full of wouldn't have been true or right. They certainly were filled with patriotism. They certainly were full of patriotism. But alive with patriotism, that has a little different feel to it. A little different connotation. And Alcott chose that word to make you feel like the soldiers were what? When it comes to patriotism, how did the soldiers feel about it? Say it again.
They were very passionate about it.
Passionate about it. Obsessed with it. It's consumed them. They were alive with it. It's the thing that kept them going. Woke them up in the morning, think about patriotism. Go to bed at night, thinking about patriotism. Marching off to battle, thinking about patriotism. All right. How do we do with motherly? Let's jump down. Actually, I'm more interested in the next two. Prince and royally. Anybody get that far? She calls this gentleman, this soldier who's in the hospital, John Shearer, a Virginia blacksmith. He's the prince of patience. And later on, she says he's about 30, I think, tall and handsome, mortally wounded and dying royally. Prince, royally. Yes? Popular. Okay, definitely true. Other connotations of prince and royally?
Maybe like experience.
Experience, I think that's definitely true. Somebody who's been around the block, who's world-wise. We think princes, they're nobles, right? They should know what's going on. Yes, sir.
The most injured.
What's that?
The most injured.
The most injured? Okay, so you're thinking a prince is like the one who has the most injuries. Okay. That could be. That could be. What connotations does the word prince and royally have? If I described someone I knew as a prince, or if I said he did things royally, even though he wasn't clearly not a prince. I mean, he's a Virginia blacksmith. He's no prince, not in the literal sense. Yes?
Maybe he's like a leader.
A leader, has strong leadership skills. What qualities do we associate with nobility and royalty? What do you think of if I say, yes?
Like being assertive.
Assertive. Said he's a good leader. I love all of these. This is a guy who the nurse looks to as someone who has the qualities we would associate with someone who is royal or noble. But he's just a blacksmith. He's just a soldier in a war who's about to die. And when he died royally. Not with ceremony, not with crowns and jewels, no pomp and circumstance. But he died royally. What do you think, Polly?
Maybe he died doing something that he loved.
Oh, committed, honor, oath. I love that. Yes.
Maybe like connecting royalty to heroically.
To
Heroically.
heroically. Ooh, great words. Yes, those connotations of that word make those passages so much more vibrant, so much more meaningful than if she just said he was a really good patient. And when he died with quiet dignity. He died respectfully. All those things are true. But the connotation of prince and royally. Wow. All right. I'll let you kind of finish these on your own for a few minutes. I'm going to turn your attention to talking about research. And, we've looked at nursing, Civil War nursing specifically over the last 2 days and then today. That's 3 days of this. And you'll know that from the bulk of this unit has been about research. You guys did your research papers, research projects, research articles, social causes, looked at sources. And one of the things that I run into oftentimes is whenever you guys and the class before you were getting to the point where you needed to find sources for the social cause you were researching, or sources for instance, the Fortune's Bones slides we did, or the historical context stories you guys wrote, all research, is I don't know where to look. I don't know, I'm staring at the laptop thinking, it's all in here somewhere, but how do I find it? Well, I'm gonna model for you how I kind of go about looking for things, and then I'm gonna talk to you about some tools you can use. First of all, whenever I get a research topic, and you can flip to page 2, that way we're all looking at the same document as I talk about this. Page 2, it says, Civil War Journal by Louisa May Alcott. Research medicine and medical care during the Civil War and submit text evidence from an article to support the question, how did the Civil War change the practice of medicine in the United States? All right, so that's our question. We know what we're looking for. Well, if I were beginning, and you'll see tabs, that's because I just did this last class, so the tabs are already kind of there, I'm sorry. But if I were just like cold looking, like I'm like, you just gave this to me, like I give it to you, and I have to look. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna go to Google, let's see. And I'm staring at this screen here. Okay, wow. All right, so I might type in Civil War medicine, blah, 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 blah. So let's go Civil War medicine, or Civil War nursing, Civil War medical. All right. You get this, and it says, if you scroll to the bottom, it says like 1 of 10 bazillion results. And you're like, I don't have time to scroll through 10 bazillion results, right? Who does? So you're like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself, all right, I need more specific things. I'm looking for definitely Civil War era, not World War II. I'm definitely looking for medical advancement. I mean, nursing is there, but it's not just about nursing. I want to know which things were like in the practice of medicine in the United States were absolutely changed, revolutionized during the Civil War, because of the Civil War, because of the circumstances of the Civil War. I already know that there was lots of wounded and suffering. I know that there was a shortage of resources and nurses. We talked about that. Doctors. We didn't have all the medicines, availability of hospitals. What in the story we just read, where was the hospital? Not this story, I'm sorry, the one of the last 2 days. Where was the hospital? A beating vessel. On the water. In a boat. In a boat. Got to take the need where you've got to take the resources where you can get them. Civil War, all this death and injury and not nearly enough resources. So medicine had to change to evolve very, very quickly in order to keep up with that. So I might put in these keywords: Civil War medical advancements, Civil War medicine, Civil War, how did Civil War change practice of medical care in America, all those things. However, up here on the right side, tools, I'm going to show you a great resource. I'm going to click tools, you could do the same thing. This little pop down comes up. Ooh, anytime in all results, Advanced search. Ha, what's this? All right, it gives you this, it'll go to this page. And whatever you put in the search tab will go ahead and populate there, but you can change that to whatever you want. And you'll notice it says all these words, this exact word or phrase, any of these words, none of these words. Okay, you can put in, I want any of these words, Civil War, or medicine, or nursing, or advancements. You know, if you need to eliminate certain words because you don't want those included in the search, you can do that there. So civil or medical, and then you scroll down a little more, you can leave fields blank. Great tool. I want only things in English because I can't read anything other than English. And then the other ones, the only things that are really important for you right now. Site or domain. This allows you to eliminate all kinds of sources that would just be distractions and a waste of time for you by starting your search with the websites that really matter for you, the credible, relevant websites. What makes a website credible or relevant? Heaven, what makes this website relevant? Okay, well, .edu is a good one. Miranda, what do you think?
If it's recent.
Recency, yeah, is it recent? Because we don't want stuff that's old and out of date, right? What other things make it relevant? Abigail?
The author, like if there's an author.
Okay, who the author is, who the source, where it's coming from, who wrote it, do they have a bias? Or do they have, is it more opinion than fact? Okay, what else?
That they have evidence back.
Ooh, text evidence, we always want that, right? Credibility, relevancy, yes.
If it has .org or .com next to the website.
Okay, sometimes .org, .orgs are often, those are usually organizations tend to be more reliable. .com's a little bit more of the Wild West, not that there's not great .com sources. .edu, we know those are educational sources. .gov, we know those are government. So I'm just gonna put in .edu. So all I've done is gone up here and go Civil War Medical, .edu. And I made it in English because I can't read Chinese. And I put advanced search, hit the button. And when it opens up, it's just gonna give me articles about that are like EDU articles. Yale School of Medicine, Civil War Medicine, medical practices during the American Civil War, Civil War medicines, medicine and practice during the American. Oh, now, man, you see how quick our search got so much better, so fast. See how that happened? It's great. So I click on it, I'm like, oh, there looks like one, and I open it up. Yikes! Oh my gosh. It's like nothing but like 40 pages of text. And I'm sure there is lots of great information in there. But do I have time to read that whole text? Do you have time to read that whole text? What are you gonna do? Okay, maybe find another one. All right, I'm gonna give you an app. Go ahead.
Use another add-on to when we find the word.
Okay, refine, you can do keyword searches. Absolutely. Refine your search, more filters, all true. So I'm going to give you an analogy. This is not mine. This is Ms. Ray Kay's analogy, but I love this. So it bears sort of at this point repeating. Guys, you need for some event a gray sweatshirt. You can't have anything on it. No logos, no nothing. Just a gray sweatshirt. And your mom takes you to Coastal Grand Mall. You get out of the car, you're standing in front of the mall. You need a gray sweatshirt. What do? What do? You go shopping, okay. You go in the mall. You go into the food court? Why not? I mean, you might go to the food court at some point, but you're looking for a gray sweatshirt. That's our mission. That's our point. That's the focus of our search. Gray sweatshirt. What do? Where do you go? Clothing shop. Ooh, okay. Automatically, clothing shop. All right, we've eliminated now Starbucks and food court and all the things that are not clothing shop. All right, I like that. Then what? Any clothing shop? Okay, you go into the first sporting goods store. You're like sweatshirts. If it's sports, I got sweatshirts, right? I go in there and I look around, standing at the door, and all the sweatshirts have sports teams. Football, basketball, baseball. Is that a plain gray sweatshirt?
No.
No. What do? Do I keep you exit? You scan. You didn't need to go through every rack looking. You can tell. You look, you see, they got logos. That's not what I need. Out of there. You go to the next store and you look in there. They got all kind of things, but they don't have sweatshirts. So you're like, You end up at Belk or Dillard's, one of these big department stores. Yay! There's a sweatshirt near somewhere. I know there is. But this is a huge store. What do I do next? How do I know where to go in the big store?
You can look for smiles.
Okay. Say.
You can ask.
You can ask someone, always good. Ask for help.
Look through the aisles and look at the names for it.
Alright, are you going to the men's section? Are you going to the shoe section? Are you going to cosmetics? No. You can scan and eliminate all those things because they're needless distractions. You go to young women's, teenagers, whatever, youth, I don't know what they call that for y'all's age. And you look, and you don't go to pants, and you don't go to dress shirts, and you don't go to blouses and skirts and socks and all the other things. You're looking for sweatshirts. Okay, searching for information on the internet is just like that. Same thing. You scan, you get in, you get out. You see this? This is like reading all this is like looking on every rack in Belk for a gray sweatshirt. I ain't got time for that. I need to scan, and that's what I would do. I scan for keywords. I use tools to help me scan, or I just look through it. Text features. What are those? All right, so I pulled up another website this morning with my other class. Let's look at this one. This one says 5 things that will surprise. This was from the same Google search. Just so you know, these are 2 tabs I opened. All right, this looks a little more friendly, right? 5 things that will surprise you about Civil War medicine. March 20, 2017. Feels okay. It's a .edu, Johns Hopkins Medical University. Feels legit already, right? Here's 5 things that will surprise you about Civil War medicine. All right, I'm looking at text features. What's the first heading that I see? Read that for me. Miranda, what's it saying?
Surgery was humane and often successful.
All right, let's go back to our question. We always keep our question in focus. Whatever your question is. What's our question? McCoy, read our question for us. Right here. It's on page 2. Read it for everybody so we can hear this again. Never lose sight of this, whatever you're writing about or researching.
Research medicine and medical care during the Civil War and submit text evidence from the article to support the question, how did the Civil War change the practice of medicine?
Okay, beautiful, thank you. All right, so Miranda just read for us, surgery was humane and often successful. All right, is that exactly what we're looking for with our question? It's close, but it's shoes. Let's move on. Civil War hospitals were actually houses of healing. Text features. Does that look like it's exactly what we're looking for? No, that's pants or cosmetics. Let's move on. Women had a major role to play in Civil War hospitals. Sounds fascinating. Would love to write about that. But is that what we're looking for here? No. That's skirts and something else. But it's not gray sweatshirts. Civil War changed the course of American medicine and public health.
Exactly.
Boom. Gray sweatshirt. Let's see what it says. One major lesson was the ability of disinfectants to limit disease even before a clear understanding of the relationship between microbes and infection was known, etc. The war, in general, was a vast educational enterprise for spreading modern medical knowledge to every corner of the American medical world. Just did this last class, that fast. That's exactly the kind of information we're looking for. It's one piece, we're looking for more. We need 3 gray sweatshirts, maybe we need 5 gray sweatshirts. But that's one, right? Isn't that great? We can keep scanning, maybe there's more stuff in here. Maybe that's all we're gonna get out of here. We gotta keep looking. Think about this search engine for you guys. This is so helpful. Try your EDU sites, try your .gov sites, try your .org sites. Try different keywords, experiment with it. Great tool. Man, you can use this. DDQs, you can use it. TDWs, well, if you had your computer, you could use it. High school, you can use it. College, you can use it. This is not the only tools, but this is a great starter. This is a great way to approach research, but also not just the Google tools, which are all fine and good, but also scanning. Just like we talked about going into the grocery store, the department store and looking for that sweatshirt. That's scanning. I'm looking for text features. Those headings that Miranda read, that's just like seeing the sign up above that says menswear, or cosmetics, or shoe section, right? Or small appliances. If you're not looking for small appliance, why are you in the small appliance section looking for a gray sweatshirt? You're looking for things that are relevant to the topic you're being asked for. So you've got to learn to scan. You have to be efficient in your searches. There's no need to waste time looking for things that don't pertain. Move on. Get in, get out. You went into the store, all the sweatshirts had sports logos. Move on. Next site. Next, please. Next, please. Just like song. Okay, so that's the skill. When I'm researching, that's the model I use. I really make sure that my keywords are specific. Put as many things as you need in that search bar, whether you're using Google Scholar or Google or WebPath or any other search engine. Really be intentional about your research. Everything I did, you could do. This isn't rocket science at all. Great skills for y'all. All right, so now what I want you to do is grab your laptops, take a couple of minutes, and you do what I do. I'll help you, I'll come around, I'll show you how to use it. And on that page, what I want you to do is see if you can find a source for how did Civil War change the practice of medicine. You're gonna do the same thing I just did. Take about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're gonna reflect and do our exit ticket for class. But now you're gonna do it, I'll come around and help you any way I can. Show you how to use search, how to refine your searches, make you guys good researchers, because you can do this. No anxiety, you got this. Yes, sir.
Alright, so go ahead, let's say we're looking for, what words would you use to answer that question? You can whatever. Civil War, let's start with that, but you don't want everything about the Civil War, so it's gotta be specific to this question. Medicine, or medical advancement, or doctors, or surgeries, or anything you like. Okay, then what's the tool we do next? What did I do? There it is, yep. And then, perfect, and then you go, and right here, answer. Yeah, that's it. Now, you can leave that in there, or you can change, yep, you got it. And then if you want a .gov, I just did .edu, but you could do .org, you could do under filer domain, there's a little spot for you to put .gov.
You have to do one at a time, unfortunately. It gets confused when you put multiple domains. So you might need 3 or 4 searches, but just see what comes up.
And then practice scanning those articles, just clicking, going, okay, this looks helpful, this doesn't look helpful. You'll know whether to move on or not.
And definitely use those text features. That saves you so much time. I wish this one here had text. Where's the one? I wish that had text features. It's just, this is like shopping at Goodwill or a flea market. It's just all right there with no differentiation. Goodwill has differentiation. Flea market, not so much. Everybody able to find the search? Practice scanning those articles. Get in, get out. If it looks like it's got something relevant, dig a little deeper. If it looks like it's not going to yield any fruit, move on. Be efficient in your research. And remember, never lose focus of the question that's being asked of you. If I said to you to research contributions of Rosa Parks to the civil rights era, and you come back and go, Rosa Parks was married 3 times and was left-handed, that's great. You're like, I read about Rosa Parks, but you didn't write about Rosa Parks' contribution to the civil rights movement. So make sure you're staying focused on the question being asked. The question's not just about the Civil War, it's about Civil War medicine. It's not World War II medicine, it's Civil War medicine. So don't lose track of that. Sometimes you have to be creative. So what are some different keywords you might use to answer this question? You have Civil War. What are some other words that you might put in to answer this question? Doctors, surgery, medical advancements, hospitals, nursing, medicine. No, be creative.
Inpatient care. That's certainly helpful.
Okay. And if you just find something, just note it down on your sheet. We're just looking for one source. Write that down on the sheet that I gave you. If you find one that's a good one, just make a note of one fact. We're not writing an essay or anything. Just one source and one fact that helps answer or relates to answering the question being asked. Yes, ma'am.
Would this relate to it? It relates to the system?
Oh, yeah, wow. Boy, that has a lot, look at that. I didn't even know that. We did talk about that in class yesterday. Haha,
Okay, so I
That's
can
good.
use that.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's a great site. I haven't seen that one before. That has like all of it in one place. All right. Just take another minute or two. All right, at the bottom there, take a second to answer the question, how did you determine your source was reliable and credible? Just a few words about reliability, relevance, credibility. How did you know your source was a good one? We talked about all these different factors that contribute to the question of whether a source is a good source. So you found the source, you put a fact, text evidence, you've cited the source in space. Now, how did you know that was a good source? What clues, what information indicated to you that your source was a good source? That it was relevant, that it was credible? Note that down on the exit ticket space. Awesome. All right, while you guys are wrapping up, I'll collect those as we exit here in just a few minutes. So today we talked about connotation. Spent a lot of time digging into connotation, layers of meaning for words, why authors use that, how that contributes to the author's purpose. Right? You guys got these sheets. Make sure your name's on the front page of it at least, please.
Do you need the text back or just?
No, I'll take them if you don't want to keep them. You're welcome to keep the text if you like. They're yours. They're from your online textbook, or I can take them back just so we can recycle them. So we learned about connotation. What else did we learn about? How do you go?
How to see if the text is like reliable.
Yeah, reliability, credibility, some research techniques to make you guys awesome researchers. You can take this skill with you everywhere. Learn to scan and use the tools, the tech tools that are there available to you. These aren't the only ones, we just touched on a little bit, but these are really going to help you be more efficient in your searches, getting the right information, knowing where to look for it, and not wasting time on things that won't help you. All right, questions anybody has? We have just another 2 minutes, and I promised I would do this. I hate to say we're getting into class, but we get everything kind of interconnected. Well, I'll have to hear about your good news tomorrow, but almost already a little early. That's a minute early. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you.